There's not a lot of reverse flash statues out there, but good thing XM Studios gave us one that will surely be worthy of a spot on your display shelf. Welcome everyone from What's on the Table. This is Prof G and you're watching another episode of Graded, the show where we're not just going to unbox or review a particular statue, collectible, or figure. We are actually going to give it a grade at the end of each video. So for this episode, we are going to grade the 1/4 scale reverse flash by XM Studios. So before we begin, I want to give a huge thank you to my friend Mike from MG Toys Collectibles for giving me a good deal with this statue. Believe it or not, the edition size of this statue is just $299 and retails at around 1,399 Singaporean dollars, which is roughly around 60,000 pesos to 65,000 pesos if landed here in the Philippines. And he actually just sold it to me for around 35,000 pesos, almost half the retail price. I don't know how he did it, but I would just say a big thank you to MG Toys Collectibles for securing me a piece. Alright, so right in front of you is this very minimalist box of the reverse flash by XM Studios. I've always been a fan of how XM Studios does their packaging. Sturdy, simple, and it just looks, for the lack of a better word, premium. So as we open this, I would like to remind you guys that I've seen some videos online, and this statue does have a lot of pieces, especially small ones, and even thin and fragile ones. So you gotta be careful in unpacking everything to make sure that you won't lose or break anything. The package does not come with any art poster, which I'm not sure why they didn't include one, but they did give us a display plaque, so I guess that's a better alternative than a display poster. Check out how many pieces this statue has. There's no instructions manual also, but they did provide a QR code which you can scan for a video reference from XM on how they did the actual assembly. So as I'm doing the assembly of this statue, it's a good thing that there are some color codes on each peg, so it's a good small reference on making sure that you're actually putting the pieces on the right place. But one thing that really did impress me, as most XM Studio pieces, they treat the base or the whole scene as part of the statue. Most of the 1/4 scales that you get from the market is that they are putting every effort on the actual character, and the base becomes too generic or an afterthought. But the guys from XM Studios really do an amazing base that really tells a better story for the statue. And you are technically getting two types of base in this design, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit. First, the base. Absolutely gorgeous. Filled with detail, and while we are actually doing its assembly, we were kind of complaining already because it does have a lot of small pieces to complete its overall look. Well, it came into a point where we said, are these pieces actually necessary? Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing, but I feel like XM had the choice to make the base a little simpler with less small pieces to peg in, but they chose to take no shortcuts and they gave us more than enough to make sure that the look of the base is as amazing as it is. Second, the red lightning pegs. Now usually I am afraid to have statues with small and thin accessories included, as I fear damaging it in the future if I'm not too careful. I actually don't prefer having them. At first I thought these red lightning pieces is too much, but once you finish putting in all the parts, I gotta say, yep, I get it. These parts are necessary and actually benefited the design. Third, we do have a hand switch out. You have one wherein you just have the normal empty hand, and another one is where we have his reverse flash lightning rod. So obviously, by the looks of it, I am going to display this with the hand that has the lightning rod. Fourth, the high quality grade paint applications. Not a lot of different textures, but that's okay. Clean, pretty good shading. and just well thought of. And last but not the least, you have an extra upper body of reverse flash, which I think is just a genius design. Think about it. You can switch out these two upper bodies and the look completely changes its story. But wait, there's more. In addition to having an extra upper body, you have an extra base or upper body pedestal, which is just a great addition to the set. You can actually display the pieces together and it would seem like you have two statues for the price of one. I remember before when other statues provide us with the head sculpt switch outs, but the problem is, I don't know where to keep them. If we had head sculpt pedestals before, it would be a better way for us to even display the ones that are not in use. So yeah, I would say this is a brilliant addition to the design and engineering of the piece. So if you are a fan of Flash as a character, there is no way you wouldn't know who Reverse Flash is, as he is considered to be the primary villain to every Flash storyline. And if you're gonna ask me, XM did justice on making the design of the statue be at par with how we imagine Reverse Flash would be. Menacing, no remorse, known to be a sociopath, Eobard Thawne is known to have that sort of obsession with Barry Allen, also known as the Flash. So if we're going to check its facial expression and the overall design, I kinda get that feel, and this design by XM actually nailed it. My collector friends, this is the XM Studios 1/4 scale Reverse Flash. Let's look at the design. Now, this Reverse Flash is actually partnered with an XM Studios version by Barry Allen, the Flash as well. However, I did not get that design as I chose to get the one from Sideshow designed by Daniel Bell, which I will show you in the upcoming video. I will also talk to you about why I chose that Sideshow design instead of the XM Studio one. Going back, I wish I could say that there is something negative about this piece, but if I'm being honest, there is not a lot of bad things about this statue. The price I got it for, I can't complain. The details that they put on the design really amplified the whole thing. And also, the upper body pedestal. It's just freaking smart. If anything, at first, I was worried about the possible leaning issue. But upon realizing that both feet are pegged in on the base, I don't think we're gonna get that issue in the long run. And yes, as great as XM Studio is, I do have some statues before from them that got pretty bad leaning issues. But this one, I am confident that it won't happen. So there you have it, my fellow collectors. This is the 1/4 scale Reverse Flash by XM Studios. You know, there are not a lot of statues that are villains, and I'm glad that we got a good quality design, villain design of Reverse Flash from XM. Right now, in my opinion, I would say this is the best one in the market. Having said that, for this XM Studios Reverse Flash, I'm going to give it a grade of 8.8. Now, it doesn't matter that the villains are not as popular as their heroes' counterpart. I'm basing the grade on the actual design, its presence and impact on the display shelves, the price that I got it for, and the special features that sometimes statue designers overlook, but necessary for us as collectors. I could have given it a higher grade, but as we all know, there's no such thing as a perfect statue or collectible, as something better will probably exist in the future. Thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a solid and click on the like and subscribe button, or even just give me a shout in the comment section. If you have a different grade that you want to give this statue, please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again everyone, this is Prof G and you just watched Graded. See you on the next one.